Deep winter in Anchorage, Alaska feels different from anywhere else in the world. The cold there doesn't just sting, it weighs on you. The skies hang low, snowbanks rise like walls along the roads, and at certain hours, the city seems to fall into a silence so complete it becomes unsettling. The kind of silence that makes headlights feel like intruders. On February 2nd, 2012, that silence hung heavy over a small teal kiosk off a 4-lane highway. The Common Grounds coffee stand. Locals knew it well. Drivers stopped there on their morning commute, grateful for warmth in a paper cup. But that morning, the first employee to arrive noticed something small, something subtle, that shouldn't have been possible. The employee door was unlocked. That never happened. Not with Samantha working the night before. Inside, he froze. The kiosk looked wrong, not chaotic, not trashed, just interrupted. Towels strewn across the counter. Napkins on the floor. Unfinished drinks left mid-step. Cabinets half open as if someone had moved too quickly. The cash register drawer cracked open. When he inserted his key to open it, it slid immediately, unlocked and empty. Whatever happened here wasn't clumsy, it was deliberate. And where Samantha should have been, there was nothing. The last person expected to see Samantha alive that night was her boyfriend, Dwayne. He was supposed to pick her up at 8 p.m. He arrived late, 8:30, delayed by work. He texted her as he pulled up. Nothing. From the driver's seat, he scanned the dimly lit parking lot. The kiosk was dark, closed. No movement inside. No sign of her. He stepped out into the freezing wind, walked to the kiosk window, pressed his face to the glass. Blackness. No lights. No Samantha. No activity. At first, his mind went to the argument they had earlier, a heated text fight where she accused him of cheating. He denied it casually, almost too casually, and the argument spiraled. Maybe she was mad. Maybe she left with a friend. That's what he told himself. But something felt off. So he drove to her father's house. Her father, James, opened the door. He immediately sensed something was wrong. Not just with Dwayne, but with what he wasn't seeing, his daughter. She wasn't home. She hadn't contacted him. She hadn't sent any message. Together, they sat in the kitchen, calling Samantha repeatedly, sending messages that went unanswered. Then Dwayne's phone buzzed. A text from Samantha's phone. "I need a couple days to think. I'll be with friends. Let my dad know." Dwayne handed the phone to James. James's stomach dropped. This wasn't Samantha. Not the wording, not the tone, not the behavior. She never avoided him, never ignored him, never left home without telling him something was wrong. Very wrong. He didn't sleep that night. By early morning, James was at the Anchorage Police Department filing an official report. Police didn't rush. At first, the case looked like a runaway. Stressful argument, teenage impulse, maybe a night with friends. But then the owner of the coffee stand sent over the security footage. And everything changed. The footage, timestamp 8 p.m., February 1st, begins like any other night. Samantha is working alone, moving efficiently, smiling occasionally, doing everything she's supposed to do. Steam rises from the espresso machine. She wipes the counter. She prepares orders. Then someone approaches the window, off camera, Samantha turns, nods, starts preparing their drink. She seems relaxed, normal, unaware that within seconds, her world is about to end. She returns to the window with the drink, leans forward, and instantly, her entire body language changes. Her shoulders lock. Her arms rise defensively. She steps back sharply. Then, in a desperate motion, she reaches up and shuts off the lights inside the kiosk. Darkness floods the interior. For a moment, only her silhouette is visible. She kneels on the ground with her back facing the window, compliant, terrified, frozen. Nearly a full minute passes, a minute that feels impossibly long. Then Samantha stands, walks to the register, opens it, scoops the cash, and returns to the shadowy figure. She hands it over, then kneels again. But the figure does not leave. Instead, he reaches through the window, climbs inside the kiosk, and closes the window behind him with chilling calmness. He ties Samantha's hands. He forces her to her feet. He pushes her out through the employee door. The last recorded images of her are in the snow, being marched toward a white Ford pickup. She vanishes into the night. The grainy footage ends, but the nightmare does not. Anchorage exploded into action. Flyers flooded telephone poles. Volunteers combed frozen forests. National news began covering the case. Donations poured in for a reward. Everyone wanted Samantha back, but every lead dissolved. There were no witnesses, no tracks, no fingerprints, no security footage beyond the kiosk. The man in the video moved like a ghost. And Anchorage, as large as it was, felt suddenly claustrophobic, as if something dangerous was hiding just under the surface. Then, 3 weeks later, Samantha's phone lit up, and the case took a terrifying turn. For 3 weeks, Anchorage moved like a wounded organism. Posters stapled on telephone poles, search parties sinking into waist-deep snow, people who had never met Samantha walking miles along frozen trails, gripping flashlights, hoping for a miracle. And then, February 24th, 21 days after she vanished, Dwayne's phone vibrated. A text message from Samantha's number. The words were short, direct, almost metallic. It told him to go to a specific location, a public park, to a bulletin board, to look under the sign. Dwayne and Samantha's father, James, were out the door before police even arrived. The park was abandoned, buried under snow and silence. Their breath fogged the freezing air as they walked toward the bulletin board, the one Samantha's message referenced and pinned under a thumbtack. Inside a clear Ziploc bag was a ransom note, typed, cold, professional. No spelling mistakes, no emotion, just instructions. But what froze both men wasn't the note. It was the photograph attached to it. The picture showed Samantha, or something that resembled her. She was sitting upright, looking slightly off camera. Her expression empty, dazed, lifeless, but present. Her skin looked pale. Her eyes were open, wide, glassy, and a man's gloved hand held up a copy of the Anchorage Daily News, dated February 13th, 2012. The message was clear. She's alive. I have her. Pay the ransom. For the first time since she disappeared, there was hope. twisted, fragile hope, James paid immediately. $5,000 of the $30,000 demanded, just enough to activate her account, because investigators knew if someone touched that card, they could track the movement and maybe find the man who took her, and so they waited. It didn't take long. A few days later, Samantha's debit card was used at an ATM in Anchorage. By the time FBI agents reached the location, the withdrawal was already complete. The man was gone. Another withdrawal. Another chase. Another disappearance. But in each ATM's camera footage, the same figure appeared. Male, average height, masked, wearing large sunglasses, hood pulled down low, no facial features, no identifiable marks, just a shadow withdrawing cash. This went on for days. Then suddenly, the withdrawals stopped. Silence. Not a single transaction. Police worried the ransom game was over, that the man might have killed Samantha already. Until March 7th, over a week of nothing, a withdrawal. But not in Alaska, Arizona, then another, New Mexico, then another, Texas. The man was fleeing the state, heading south, burning through the ransom money city by city. The FBI used surveillance footage and timestamps to trace his path. Every ATM showed the same disguised figure. Every withdrawal happened minutes before police arrived. But in Texas, everything changed. Because for the first time, he made a mistake. At one of the Texas ATMs, a camera captured more than just the masked figure. It caught his car, a white Ford Focus, older model, slight dent on the side roof rack, something finally identifiable. An alert went out statewide. Every patrol car was given. Make, Ford model, Focus, color, white direction, eastbound highway from the ATM to location. It didn't take long. March 13th, 2012. A Texas highway patrolman cruising near a motel spotted it. A white Ford Focus, parked alone, engine cold. He waited. Minutes later, a man in his 30s walked out of a hotel room and climbed into the driver's seat. The officer pulled out behind him. His radar gun read 2 miles per hour over the speed limit. Not enough for a normal stop. But today, it was everything he needed. Lights flashed. The Focus pulled over. The patrolman approached cautiously, hand hovering near his holster. The window rolled down. The man inside looked relaxed. Too relaxed. When the officer asked for his license, the man handed it over calmly. A license from Alaska. Name, Israel Keys, age 34. The patrolman immediately recognized the significance. Backup raced in. Keys was ordered out of the vehicle. Inside the car, officers found a ski mask, Samantha's debit card, Samantha's phone, a .40 caliber handgun, clothing matching the ATM suspect. He was arrested on site. But police didn't yet know who they really had. They didn't know. They had just caught one of the most terrifying serial killers in American history. All they knew was this. This was the man withdrawing Samantha's money, and only he knew where she was. In custody, Israel Keys acted calm, emotionless, almost detached. At first, he denied everything. But when confronted with the evidence, the phone, the debit card, the ATM footage, he leaned forward, exhaled quietly, and said, "I'll tell you everything, if you get me. An Americano, a peanut butter Snickers, and a cigar. Once he had them, he settled back in his chair and began to talk. And what he revealed was worse than anything investigators imagined, because Samantha Koenig had never had a chance. Israel Keyes sat in that gray interrogation room like a man talking about the weather, calm, relaxed, almost bored. And then, with his Americano steaming beside him and the Snickers half-eaten, he started describing everything, not as if he regretted it, as if he were remembering a project he had completed, a task he had executed with precision. He wasted no time. The first thing he told investigators was, "I picked Samantha long before I robbed the coffee stand." He hadn't gone there to steal cash. He went there because when he saw her working alone, young, distracted, unaware, he knew she was the one. When Samantha turned around with his Americano, Keyes was already holding his gun low, angled upward so the camera couldn't see it. She saw the weapon. Her body froze. Her eyes widened. Her hands lifted instinctively. He told her to turn off the lights, to kneel, to stay quiet. And she did, because Keyes promised her something that kept her alive. Cooperate, and you go home. He later admitted that was a lie. From the first second, he told police, the moment she turned around, she was dead. She just didn't know it yet. Once he forced Samantha outside and into his white truck, he kept her blindfolded and crouched in the back. He drove around Anchorage for hours, stopping for cigarettes, stopping to smoke his cigar, stopping to let her breathe, stopping to think. Every time she begged him not to hurt her, he said the same thing. "Relax. I just want the ransom. You'll be fine." But the truth was already set. There would be no ransom, no release, no chance. Around midnight, he pulled into his driveway. Inside the house, his girlfriend, his 10-year-old daughter, both asleep. He made Samantha lie down on the floor of his truck. He covered her with tarps. He warned her again, "If you scream, I kill you first, then them." She stayed perfectly still. He walked into his house, checked the bedrooms, made sure everyone was sleeping. Then he walked back outside and led a blindfolded teenage girl into his shed. It was small, cold, cluttered with tools, cords, tarps, heaters, and a single upturned plastic bucket. That bucket would be Samantha's seat. He tied a rope around her neck, stretched it to both walls, and anchored it so tightly she couldn't move her head an inch. Then he turned the radio up so loud the walls vibrated. No one inside the house would hear a thing. He gave her 2 cigarettes. He told her again, "It's just ransom. You'll go home soon." Then he left, locked the door behind him. Inside, Samantha was alone with the sound of blasting music and the growing realization that she wasn't getting out. After drinking wine in his kitchen, Keyes went back with a cup of water. He checked that she was calm. She begged him, "Did you talk to my dad? Did he get the ransom money?" He smiled and said, "Yes, everything's going perfectly." But nothing was going perfectly. He walked behind her and slowly unscrewed the anchors holding the rope to her neck. Then he cut the zip ties on her wrists. For a moment, a tiny moment, she thought she was going home. Her shoulders relaxed. She exhaled. She believed him. Then Keyes said, "She looked relieved. I didn't like that." He grabbed her, tied her again, tighter, more brutal, more complete. Her hope vanished. He said, "I wanted to see the look on her face when she realized." Keyes left again, checked on his daughter, his girlfriend. Then he returned to the shed one last time. The music was still blasting, the heaters blowing warm air, but the smell, he said the smell hit him first. Sweat, fear, urine. Samantha knew she was going to die. Keyes approached her. She didn't scream. She didn't fight. He said she was the calmest victim he ever had. He sexually assaulted her. Then after she whispered, "Are you going to kill me?" he replied, "Yes." He put on leather gloves. She tried talking. He ignored her. At 3:59 a.m., he stabbed her, then strangled her until she went still. He told investigators she was quiet. Not many people are quiet at the end. He showered, got dressed, woke his daughter for their scheduled trip, the luxury cruise he'd planned. While his daughter packed, he went out to the shed. He wrapped Samantha's body in a tarp, shoved her into the back, turned off heaters, turned off lights, locked the door. Then he made breakfast for his child. At 5 a.m., the taxi arrived. They left for the airport. Keyes smiled at the driver, talked about the weather, discussed vacation plans. Samantha's body lay alone in the shed behind him. 2 weeks later, Keyes returned to Alaska. He went directly to the shed. Inside the body hadn't decomposed. The cold protected it. She looked, as he described, fresh enough. And this is where the horror intensifies. Keyes put makeup on her face, braided her hair, dressed her in clean clothes, sat her upright, and then he stitched her eyelids open so her eyes would appear alive in the photo. He positioned a newspaper in her hand. Then he took pictures of her, proof of life, except she hadn't been alive for 2 weeks. After the photo was sent and the ransom withdrawals began, Keyes moved to the final step. He dismembered her, piece by piece. He took the parts in bags to Matanuska Lake, a frozen body of water outside Anchorage, cut holes into the ice, and dropped the bags into the black water below. To this day, divers still say the lake feels wrong, as if something remains. The FBI believed Keyes had killed before. He confirmed it. He described flying to random states, renting cars, driving thousands of kilometers, choosing victims by pure chance. He buried kill kits across America: guns, rope, duct tape, cash, chemicals, zip ties, weapons. Caches waiting for him like seeds of murder planted years in advance. He admitted to killing Samantha, to killing an elderly couple in Vermont. But there were more, many more. He hinted at victims in Washington, New York, Texas, Alaska, Arizona, the Midwest. He told investigators, "You'll never find them." And before he could name them, he killed himself in his cell, leaving a drawing behind, 11 skulls, his way of counting his dead. But no one believes the number is only 11.
Subscribe and walk deeper in the dark.